Good day for us today. You know, this simulation we're having during the week today was a huge, as you saw, red zone emphasis and trying to simulate those red zone coverages we're going to see versus Alabama. It's good to see Marvell even get more today in some team periods, and you saw him moving around. I thought he looked really good. And then Chad Wheeler getting some individual work today and really went through it with no pain. So that's a good sign. Hopefully over the next 2 days, you know, we'll see how that progresses, and then bring him back next week and see how he is full speed and see if he would be ready. Obviously, I think Chuma and Zach are doing a tremendous job at the two positions they're going with. With that, I'll answer any Thursday questions you have.
If you had to play a game this week, would you be ready?
I tell you what, I'm thanking the good Lord that we got 5 more. You know, this week has really put us ahead in my mind. But when you're playing the defending national champion and the #1 team in the country, I'll take 2 weeks, no question.
There's been talk of that defense being faster than it already was.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you're already kind of preparing for?
Yeah, no question. I think that's why you see a lot of times you see our iron sharpens iron period, that we're actually bringing the defense over to simulate some of the looks that we need, and we're giving some looks. You see those fast wideouts out there that try to simulate a Ridley and try to simulate that offensive line they're going to go up against in Cam Robinson and that crew. So it is it's something that we're trying to do to put the best quality look that we can for each side.
Noticed a lot of special teams work early on, especially onside kicks. How crucial of that is that part of the game going to be against Alabama?
Yeah, usually late in the week you always practice those special situations, and you do it every week because you never know when it's going to come up. You're probably going to get 1 to 2 a year, but it's something you have to have in your toolbox and practice every week, and this is usually when we do it towards the latter half.
You mentioned, I think, in training camp that Matt Bormeister has been more consistent than last year. How has that been in the last couple of weeks?
Really good. I tell you, Coach Baxter's done a tremendous job taking the draw off his ball. If you've seen it, you know, in golf, you could say you could talk to a fade, but you can't talk to a hook. You know, he's kind of straightened that ball out, and it has to do with his leg swing. You see that line that Bax puts down, the evil scientist, the genius, the professor, as we call him, has really helped him become a really consistent kicker. And he's going to be a good player this year, really is.
I know Baxter is considered a very good special teams coach.
Mm-hmm.
How much can he do? Is kicking like something that, I know he does the stuff at the line. How much can he affect the kicking game specifically?
Well, you saw the last time he was here. I mean, I think he's a master of it. He's a weapon. And it's usually the players that make the game for you. But when you have a John Baxter on your side too, he's an additional weapon. He prepares those guys so well. And you know, we may have some bumps and bruises early, but I promise you by the end of the season, those phases in special teams, they're going to be great. I can just see from spring till now how much of a transition they've made.
Did you have any worries about your punters? It looks like the last, week and a half they've really picked it up. Were you kind of worried about where they were going to be?
We had a very honest conversation. I brought both of them in at the same time and said, hey, look, guys, you know, this obviously punter is almost like a quarterback. It's about who's producing at the right time and who is you're both in a competition, and the guy that's consistent, both kicking the ball and more importantly placing the ball where it needs to be placed is going to be the guy that goes out there. And I know Bax is going to make that a year-long thing, you know, to keep that pressure on those kids and make them perform. And you know, he put them in this competitive atmosphere. We put them in this competitive atmosphere, and you see what competition does. It makes people thrive.
Got anyone out front at this point?
I tell you what, I think both of them have their attributes. You know, when you talk about every time I see Chris come in kicking to the right, I think he does a really nice job hitting the ball straight. And then you got the lefty with Reed placing the ball nice left. So at the end of the day, I think Bax will make a good call and may use both of them in the game. I'll rely on Bax for that. He's the master of it. I wish I knew putting, but I don't as well as quarterback.
Jack Jones yesterday said that he thinks he's a Heisman candidate this year. Do you think he's a Heisman candidate this year?
The thing that I really appreciate about all these freshmen that are coming in is their confidence. You know, I just watched them running down on kickoff. There's no fear. There's 4 of them lined up, and they are all flying. And you got all the vets over there just going, wow, coach, you can't hold those freshmen back. And that's the thing that I appreciate about the guys that come in. they feel like they're the best in the world, and that's the approach you got to take. I want that. I want you to feel like, hey, I'm going out there and beat anybody that I go against. I think that's why you come to SC. We recruit the best of the best, and when they get here, they're very confident people. Will he do the Heisman this year? I don't know, but I'm very proud of that. He's a confident person.
Is that how you have to go in against an Alabama, thinking, hey, we belong here just as much as these guys do, even though
no
they're
question.
defending national champions?
I think this is two really good teams that are coming together to play each other. And usually, early in the season, it's the person that makes the most mistakes that's going to lose the game. More turnovers, more penalties, more missed assignments. You usually beat yourself in early games. So I think the fewer mistakes a team makes, that's probably going to be the team that comes out on top.
Michael Pittman looks like maybe he's acclimated a little bit quicker than some of the other freshman receivers.
Yeah.
Why have you been able to do that?
Well, if you remember, Mike was a midterm. Reminds you a lot of what Cam Smith did coming in here as a midterm graduate, having those extra 6 months to get acclimated, to have two camps rather than one. And Mike, to his credit, has really he's reminds you a little bit of a Robert Woods. He's coming up to get extra film. He's doing the things on his own as a student of the game to really propel himself, and he's put himself in a position to contribute not only on offense but also on special teams, as you see. It's a good question.
Besides the added depth, what is a healthy Noah Jefferson? What does he bring differently on the defensive line?
I love his quick twitch. I think he's really hard on offensive guards, especially when you set him on an edge. His athleticism is something I think is really hard on interior linemen. And his ability to shimmy, shake, get upfield, different moves, different tools in the toolbox in pass rushing. He's a weapon. I can see why Clancy really likes the guy.
How much